Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or YHST for short. I'm Isaac.
I'm Elva.
And this is the show where we cover movies on the growing list of films that has people asking us the question,
You haven't seen that?
Intermission edition. I swear to God, it's going to get longer every single time. I'm going to edit around it, and we're going to have a meeting about it. I'm going to be upset.
No.
Jesus Christ. Or I should keep it on a button or something. Intermission. So we're covering one movie, and that movie is the Ryan Coogler critically acclaimed movie Sinners. It's kind of been like a slow movie month.
Mm-hmm. Very slow.
What a fucking movie. Mm-hmm. We will get into that, but first we'll do news. But before we do news, of course, we will break down some business.
Got to kill business.
Some business. Thank you once again, people, for listening and following us. And if you haven't been doing so already, follow us on social media at
YHSC Pod
on TikTok and Instagram. That's where we have bite-sized reviews. This particular episode, we will have some spoilers. So if you're not looking for a spoiler review on this movie, go to our video review, our bite-sized YHST snack, where it'll be very, very spoiler free, just a general coverage of the movie, because this movie's interesting and I don't want to fucking spoil anything for anybody. So just be forewarned. But anyways, if you like what we've been doing, you can support us on Venmo at
YHSC Pod,
and we appreciate that. A lot of people have been doing that. While you're at it, like, rate, review, notification bells, do all of those things. It has been greatly appreciated. People have been DMing me. People who are friends and family have actually been texting me how much they've been enjoying the show. There are some coworkers that have pulled me aside and been like, I really enjoy the show. So I just want to give some shout outs to Chris, Mal, Will, Carlos, some other people I may be forgetting, but I love and appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for communicating how much you've been enjoying the show. Some things that we have to change. I will fire Alva on the next episode. So, read you guys loud and clear.
My contract says I'm here for 5 years.
A marital contract. But anyways, before we get into all that other fun stuff, let's first inform everybody about what's going on in Hollywood, movies, and entertainment with the segment that we simply call YHST News. Let's keep people abreast and inform them. I feel this went on longer than I expected it to.
It sounded like it did.
I forgot what my original script was, but let's let it finish and vamp, and then we will get into news in a second. Had to do it. I have to. I'm not great on these things. Again, we're not the right people to fucking be doing a podcast, but it's fun and it keeps our marriage together.
Well, not if you say that we can't do this podcast. I don't want that negativity around. Get it out of here.
All right. Kicking off with the news. The Academy just changed the rules that starting next year, voters must watch every nominated film in a category to vote. They weren't doing that already.
Ryan Gosling has joined Star Wars universe for its 2027 Star Wars Starfighter. Deadpool Wolverine Sean Levy will be set to direct.
Legendary Television and Amazon MGM Studios are teaming up to bring Pacific Rim to Amazon Video as a live-action series. It's currently in its development stage, but let's hope it doesn't turn into a kaiju-sized dumpster fire. Please.
Now let's rewind back to Ryan Gosling because I wasn't done with him.
He's good looking.
It's said that he will be producing a remake of the 1988 cult classic Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Because remakes. A 4-part biopic of the Fab Four, directed by Sam Mendes, will all premiere April of 2028, with Harris Dickinson as John Lennon, Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr, and Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. I'm actually really excited for that one.
Sorry for the mispronunciation of the next couple names. HBO Max's Harry Potter series has cast a few more people in its beloved roles. Confirmed are Nick Frost as Hagrid, John Lithgow as Dumbledore, Janet McTeer as Professor McGonagall, Papa Sidiou as Professor Snape, Luke Talon as Professor Quirrell, and Paul Whitehouse as Filch. No news yet on our troublesome trio.
That's a big cast. Netflix will be taking on Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, No Zombies, developing it as a series. Some of its leads have already been cast, but I'm clutching my panties as to who will be our new Mr. Darcy. Mr. Darcy. Hi, Mr. Darcy. Wrap it up.
MCU just dropped its latest Fantastic Four trailer, revealing some important plot points, as well as our first look to Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer. And the crowd goes mild.
Yeah. Any one of those you want to talk about?
Yeah, I kind of do. Of course, I will be talking about Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah. Spoiler, we're covering it next episode. We saw it in the theaters for its 20th anniversary. My first time seeing it. So that's a full breakdown.
Mm-hmm. We'll have that next.
And she hasn't seen Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, so we might do that in a separate episode.
Yeah. But this one, because BBC did a series like this, so now it's Netflix. So it's like, now it's like, of course, like the US.
Okay.
Doing like the Office kind of thing, but with Pride and Prejudice. So I'm kind of wondering where it's going to go and see how they're going to like make these lovable characters and see how this is going to go into a whole series.
Well, that was the thing as you told me about it, because like after remembering the Pride, Prejudice, and Zombies, and then after just recently watching Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 movie, have you read the book?
Yes.
Okay. Do you feel like this could be a successful series?
Maybe not. I don't know who's directing it. I don't know who the rest of the cast is.
Because like and me and a lot of other people, we always say like, well, of course it's easier to do a series because you can flesh out a lot of things. Now, it's one thing to do that when it's a new idea. It's another thing when you're doing it as an adapted property. I mean, I know we announced we talked about Harry Potter series, come to fruition, but that's a little different because it's like the multiple books. You know what I mean? So you can spend some time with that, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do about the Pride and Prejudice as a series on Netflix.
Well, yeah, because there's already like 17 films, 17 film versions of 1938, like since 1938. So I don't want to get too much into that because that's going to be saved for the other one.
Okay.
But that's where I'm kind of like, where does this go? Is this the new Mr. Darcy for everyone else? Because I have my Mr. Darcy.
Yeah. It's like, again,
I'm not changing my Mr. Darcy.
We'll cover it more on the next episode. But what I had realized when we went to go see it is like, oh, this is a thing that people, it's like a culture, the Pride and Prejudice culture. So everyone has their Darcys the way that like nerds have their Batmans and shit like that.
Yeah, exactly. The same.
That's great. Actually, I was very pleased with that movie. So that's a lot of fun. I'm excited to talk about that. What I personally am excited for is the 4-part biopic. Man, we cover some biopics on this podcast, and I've seen my share of biopics. And there's these hits and misses where it's like they're focusing too much on someone's personal life, and maybe not like a good balance on the story, or it's really cheesy. And sometimes people have to remember that it's not a like an actual documentary, so maybe they'll change things in order to make it an entertaining story to tell. I'm very curious, but I'm also happy that they're breaking the Beatles into a 4-part thing. Like I've never seen that done. Not only is it breaking into a 4-part, I want to say series, but you know what I mean, four movies, but they're dumping them all into just 1 month of April. So no one has to wait for anything, but yet you get to sit with each particular Beatle. By the way, great casting. I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to have someone that's going to look very much like those the respective people, but all of those aforementioned actors are great performers.
Also, I kind of really hope that throughout the whole month of April, it's one movie being released every week.
I think that might be it. Yeah.
Because if you don't take that chance to do it, you are dumb. You're dumb.
And by the way, if no one's familiar with Sam Mendes, he's directed some pretty awesome movies like 1917,
That's a good one.
Yeah, American Beauty, Skyfall, Spectre, just to name a few. So the guy can fucking direct. Oh, did he do Away We Go? Have you ever seen Away We Go?
No.
With Maya Rudolph and John Krasinski?
No.
Oh my god!
Wait. Show me the poster.
Okay, it is such a cute movie.
No, but that's one that was like on my list that I always wanted to see.
Yeah, we'll add it.
Yeah.
And then lastly, because I'm so excited to talk about Sinners. the latest trailer for Fantastic Four. I don't want to spoil anything in case people aren't watching the trailers. There is like I would say an important plot point that quite a few people are taken aback that they revealed in said trailer. I won't say any more than that, but it's like, oh man, can't you guys, MCU, can't you just save it for the fucking movie itself?
Well, that itself, like that movie is having, like they're rushing the reshoots so they can,
Oh man.
so they can go ahead and release in July, which goes to show you, will this movie be my second Fantastic Four? Like, you know, is it going to be there?
Hey,
Or
it's a low bar with that Fox one.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Duh.
Duh.
And then they did reveal Julia Gardner as a Silver Surfer. I liked it. There's this
Julia
Gardner.
Gardner.
So yeah. So there's this. The internet fucking lights up with one. They don't like how the CGI looks. They're saying it looks worse than the 2005 one or whatever it was. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Honestly, it actually pissed me off. I don't know if that was just like rage baiting for rage baiting's sake, but I completely and wholeheartedly disagree that her Silver Surfer looks the visual effects look worse than the other one. That being said, and then there's the people who are really, you know, what's the word, misogynistic. They're like, oh, MCU. God, they got a gender change in, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I am going to say what everyone's been saying. They did it in the comics, so they're not veering off of the source material. You know what I mean? So I'm completely fine with that. I think Julia Gardner is a great actress. I don't think there's a thing that she's been in that hasn't been amazing. Even for something like this where, you know, she's kind of a stoic character. I don't know. Maybe she'll elevate the role. Who knows? But yeah, again, people shit on things to shit on things. I am legitimately excited for this movie. If it fucking craps out, it craps out. But compared to the other fucking Fantastic Four, that trailer was garbage, and that whole movie was just a pile of dog shit. So, like I said, and I say jokingly, but in all seriousness, the bar is really fucking low.
Can I just put it on record that if this movie sucks, you will buy me coffee?
Oh no! Whatever will I do? What a punishment! Jesus Christ! It's as far as MCU,
the big size.
It's the fucking Trenta. You're all spazzing out. As far as like the MCU, it's the Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts. That after those two movies, if they don't sit well with me, as far as story, overall universe, whatever, even just as a movie, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna excitedly go into any further MCU movies.
Yeah.
I know I said that in past podcasts, but in case anyone hasn't been listening to those things, there you have it. There it is. Anything else? Anything other than the aforementioned?
No, I think we should just go ahead into Sinners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoo, boy, oh boy. So before we get into it, I want to give a disclaimer for anyone who's trying to not have that movie spoiled. We're not going to spoil plot points, but there is an aspect, I will say, of the movie that Alva didn't know about, that a lot of people didn't know about.
That's a first.
Because the very first trailer did a very successful job in teasing us and enticing us and making us want to see the movie. What's that? Michael B. Jordan? Ryan Coogler? Okay, I'm in. Boom. And then the second trailer came out. And the second trailer, whoever the fuck designs these trailers, revealed what basically the genre shift was of the movie. I won't say any more than that. But it ruined some of the surprise. Still in a very amazing movie, but it ruined some of the surprise. So, for those of you who don't know about that aspect...
Spoilers ahead.
No.
Oh.
Not only spoilers ahead, but I'm going to give you people a nutshell review of this movie. The performances were great. The music was wonderful. It's an amazing soundtrack. Do see this in IMAX because it does this thing that Coogler designed where he shot it in two different aspect ratios, and they do something as far as the storytelling. It is an amazing movie that when you do see that other genre shift, that other aspect, it does something for that said genre that was quite amazing. And I think it was fucking baller of Coogler to do that. So that being said, go see this movie. Now, we will be spoiling it from here on out. So pause it, go see the movie,
Come back.
and then come back and join in the conversation. All right? You've been warned.
I will know if you don't come back.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, Alva, read the tagline.
All right. Trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers return to their hometown to start again, only to discover that an even greater evil is waiting to welcome them back.
I like how you read it like a Disney movie. Fairy sparkles. Like I said before, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan. He's playing dual roles very well. He does it very well. It's co-starring Haley Steinfeld. Delroy Lindo may not be a name that is a household name, but if you look him up, you know the face, and he's amazing in this. Jack O'Connell plays our bad guy. Wunmi Musaku, you would be familiar with in the Loki series and the Deadpool Wolverine movie as one of the TVA agents. And introducing Miles Catton, I may be mispronouncing his name. This is his first feature film, and I already was impressed by his performance. And then I learned, oh, this is his first feature film, and was vastly more impressed.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way that the movie was presented. Now, when you see the trailers, I guess now we can talk about it. It seems like, Michael B. Jordan and Haley Steinfeld basically are like the drawing points, but it's not surrounding them. They're not really like the main star. The main focus is around Miles Catton, who plays the preacher's son, Sammy. And it's a vampire movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
No. The second trailer, and I guess I'll just, now some spoilers ahead, but in that second trailer, not only did it reveal that it was a vampire movie, which when I saw it, I like threw my phone down, and from the other room, you heard me go, God damn it. I go, new trailer to Sinners came out, and they revealed what the fuck the movie was. I won't tell you what it is, but they fucking like completely revealed it.
Yeah.
Why would they do that? But not only that, they revealed which people got turned into a vampire, which is like a fucking important plot point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I remember you saying that, and I was just like, okay. And this is the reason why I have a thing with trailers. Why are you giving me everything in a second trailer? I don't want it. I don't need it. Let me figure that shit out when I go see the movie.
Yep.
And I will be sending out letters.
She said it in past podcasts, and I saw her draft it up. She has her own stationery and everything. So yeah, okay. So that's that for the spoilers, right? Mm-hmm. The music. I want to talk about some of like the easy things to talk about.
Okay.
This music had such an integral part of the movie that fed into the lore, the vampire lore, and the vampire lore is pretty known and simple, and they kind of stick to what we know. But then it steps outside of those boundaries just a bit to make it its own thing that has to do with music, and it is so fucking cool. The soundtrack is amazing. I was listening to it the next day. This movie has stuck with me, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like I do want to rewatch it again because I don't know if anybody knows this. Like I don't really listen to like contemporary music. Like blues just hits my soul. Delta blues, Mississippi blues just does something to me. With that steel guitar and the slide and everything.
A little banjo here, banjo there.
Some violin. It's so raw. That's what it is. It's very raw. Like that's, before the blues got watered down into R&B and then to rock and all that, it was music in one of its most raw forms. So I think that was amazing. But what was so interesting about this was, I don't know if you remember this, some sequences. There's like these 80s guitar licks. If ever anyone has ever seen Lethal Weapon, which I haven't fully seen those movies, so they are on the list. But there are scenes where it's like with Mel Gibson and he's maybe contemplating a thing. I think when he's like thinking about Suey Wooey, and the guitar just like all dramatic and stuff like that. It has those guitar licks, and it was surprised me, but it did something to them. Those scenes. Yeah,
the music went hand to hand with all this. Mm-hmm. I also have this thing with music in movies. Because sometimes I'm just like, out of all the songs that you could have picked, out of all the things you could have picked, you picked this that does not even, like, it takes you out of the moment. I'm just like, there's so many other songs, or you could have like made your own version of it, covered that song, but in your own way. But this one, I had no issues with the music.
No, not at all. I was going to use the verbiage, this movie balanced music and acting and storytelling and genre, but it didn't necessarily balanced those things is as much as it married them all together into its just this one big beautiful thing.
It complemented each other.
Oh, easily.
So well that it didn't take you away from that.
No.
Because it's like a period drama.
Yeah.
So it is still within that period. Because when you put music that's not within that period, it takes you out. You're like,
Totally.
why are you doing that? And on not also that, but the way that they described how when someone plays music, it's when you have that connection to music, when you're playing from the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a thin veil that
It's like you're leaning up. You're leaning up against this veil. If you've seen the Pixar movie Soul, very, very similar to that. And I've played music. I don't play it well, but I played music. And there are these moments where you lock in and where musicians call like you staying in the pocket. You're not thinking, you're just doing. And it's this beautiful space of artistry or expression where you get lost in the emotion of it and in the feeling of it. It's wonderful. It's something that those who have played music and been in those spaces can relate to. But if not, I feel bad for people who have not experienced it, honestly. But when there are these sequences wherein some of the characters do get lost in those moments, it's expressed so well, like in the movie Soul. It's expressed so well. In fact, there's one sequence that is a oneer, and I've said it before in other podcasts, but if you're not familiar, if you haven't listened to those episodes, a oneer is an uninterrupted, unedited shot, basically. Maybe the camera moves around and all these things happen, but it is uninterrupted. And this thing is done so well with like a 4 or 5 minute long song that it is on the soundtrack, and it is gorgeously done, and it intermeshes these generational,
like the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah. Oh God, it was so wonderful. I really love that sequence.
And I love how when this movie started, it started with like saying something about like being in that pocket and being like so close to that veil.
Yeah.
That you're just like, what? But it's like, no, let me show you now.
Yes. Yeah.
Here we go. I need to show you what I just said in the beginning, which was amazing because sometimes in the beginning, movies are being narrated and you're like, what do you mean by that?
This movie locked me in right from the beginning. It presented a mystery, and then which held your interest, and then the first act and a half built up this story. So yes, it's a vampire movie, and people may complain that it may be a little slow, but like there are older monster movies that have done that. In fact, I was talking about this with my brother, the Ridley Scott movie Alien. It for like the first, I don't know, I'm pretty sure there's actually a number out there, but for the first like hour, you're not seeing the monster. It might be like 30 minutes, but you're not seeing the monster, because a good monster movie, not a B-level monster movie, but like with good story and stuff, they build up the characters, they introduce the world and all of that, all the nuances of it. And this movie fucking is a masterclass in it. Of course, saying that Ryan Coogler is talented is like saying the fucking sky is blue.
Yeah. I also like how as you're developing these characters and showing you like these characters are going to play such a role later on where it all ties up, like it does show you like a glimpse of this, but you're like, how does that one go into play? And a little bit, and you're just like, what?
That's exactly how I was. I was watching. I was like, what?
What? No, but it pays off at the end.
Yes. For all of these things that they set up, as movies are supposed to do, there is payoff. Every single edit, every sound design, every glimmer in someone's eye, everything is intended to tell, to further the story. Again, a masterclass.
Glimmer.
Performances. Let's start with the easy ones. Delroy Lindo, like I mentioned before, you'll not recognize the name, but you'll know the face. I think he was one of my favorite characters in this movie.
He was in Malcolm X.
Yes, I remember him as that.
Yeah.
It was a very unique. He was a musician. Was it Slim? Right? It was like Mississippi Slim or something like
Delta
that.
Slim.
Delta Slim. And what a fun fucking character, really. Haley Steinfeld. Much credit to her. I was really surprised that she was in this movie. I think I last saw her in Hawkeye. Right?
I think so. I know I've seen her in like other stuff, but this one is where she actually like
grew up.
She's always had these roles, but they never let her full on show her potential.
Bingo. She held her weight.
Yeah. And this one, it was like, oh, forget those roles that I just did in my past. This one is where I'm showing you my range.
Yeah. Oh, big time. And then Jack O'Connell, who plays our villain, basically is so good as this lead vampire who has just enough personality, but it's not like any kind of over the top 80s campy sort of vampire. Mm-hmm. It was very fun, and he had his own motivation that it was again, it leaned into the lore, into the mysticism of it, and then of course Michael B. Jordan playing twins. And similar movies where one person plays a twin, it's always like, whatever, like Lindsay Lohan's, like one has an accent and one doesn't, or one is serious and the other's over the top, It doesn't feel realistic when they do that, but it does help differentiate. But this is where like Michael B. Jordan, his professionalism plays into it, where they are different, but not drastically, but enough for you to go, okay, that's Smoke and that's Stack. And they do have their differences of personality, but because they're twins, like your brothers that do share a lot of the same personality traits.
Mm-hmm. And I did like how throughout this whole film they didn't try to dress them up similar. Mm-hmm. They had, because I know there's times where they'll do like films where they're twins, but they dress them up so much alike to kind of like overcompensate for it. And then I'm just like, no, you're kind of like, no, thank you.
And needless to say, Michael B. Jordan in that suits because it's twins. Yeah, that dude looks great.
Damn.
That dude looked fucking fly as hell.
I do have a fun fact for Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
While filming this, because it is a vampire movie, there may be some blood involved. He
heard about this.
He does not like blood.
He doesn't like horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So him working with like blood and horror movies is like, yeah, new challenge.
That being said, the violence in this movie, it's not gratuitous gore or anything like that. This isn't that type of movie. In fact, Coogler even held back in some scenes where, something violent is about to happen and then cuts right before it does. So now you're allowing the audience to imagine it, theater of the mind, so to speak. And it lent to the not authenticity of it, but it was classy. It just was fucking classy. But I don't want to forget the other guy, Miles Catton. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing his name. Now, he may not have been to like the level of Michael B. Jordan. His character wasn't as layered, but what that character needed, he was able to give into it. And on top of that, is able to sing. I don't know if he's actually able to play the guitar, but was able to sing very well. It's such a gorgeous voice.
I did like how the direction of his character to be more like of a timid.
Yeah.
Basically, he's a preacher boy.
Well, you're viewing. I mean, the movie's called Sinners, so you're viewing all the sinners through his innocent eyes.
Mm-hmm. No, but at the same time, like how he acts when they go to like certain areas, like different towns, or not different towns, but like into town, and how he's acting because of these Jim Crow laws. So he's like not shy, but like has to not be outward.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
So how because like you have Smoke and what was the other name? Stack. They're well known. They know that they're trouble and stuff, but he's known as to be
Preacher boy,
the good boy. His dad's, this and that. So he has that timid, like body language as he's going around through the movie with who did he go with? Stack or Smoke?
I forget.
Either way, but like he's finally like opening up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like they keep him in check.
I do like how they look out for him. Yeah. But when those moments that he's able to express himself in the music, again, just going back to that one particular Wonder sequences, it was wonderful. Like I said before, the first act and a half is that buildup of story, and like I want to say that it maybe took inspiration from Dusk Till Dawn, where that movie starts off as like a crime thriller, and then they go to the bar called the Titty Twister, and then shifts into a full-on vampire movie. Like this particular movie builds up everything, and like you said before, then finally has that payoff of a vampire movie, where it didn't take away. It was just such a good mix of everything. Damn it, I fucking love this movie.
And I will say I think I am not big on vampire movies. I will watch them.
Yeah. Well, I'll be quizzing you in a minute.
I'll watch them and everything, but I think after, what was it? There was that time where there was like a vampire shows, vampire
Jesus,
this, vampire that, and I'm just like, there's so much, there's too much, and you guys aren't keeping, like, you guys are making the vampire shiny. I get it, whatever.
It's the skin of a
Killer
killer.
Bella. And you're making all these vampires like this, except for the originals. That one really kind of felt like it was very New Orleans-y and went with it. But you kind of gave them too much of a supernatural power where it took away that they can actually just be people living with other people kind of thing. And this one, I didn't have an issue with the vampires.
Which segues into my final point that this movie proves that you can tell an amazing story with the backdrop of a monster flick.
Yeah.
You can do it well. It doesn't have to be a B-level thing. You don't have to lean into any kind of absurdity or make it meta or funny. You can make a very serious movie with its, allegories. I mean, it's in the 1930s South. Like, you're going to have the allegories and metaphors and everything like that. And some of those things are deep-seated. A lot of it having to do with like assimilation or a cultural appropriation, a lot of times with the music. And it's done in not, I don't think it was like a very heavy-handed way where you're like, oh, that's the thing. But you're able to enjoy the story and everything that happens in it without it distracting you too much.
Yeah. I also did like the minimal details that weren't minimal. I don't know if I'm making sense. With
Less
vampires.
is more.
Less is more with vampires. Like
the monster design was simple.
Yes. And I feel like that's how it should be for a lot of these vampires, for it to be like, no.
They did kind of Alamote it where, they maybe took away some power, like as far as the design of these monsters, where other vampires may have these powers, these ones didn't, incorporating maybe like a certain thing, like a hive mind vampire thing. It worked. It worked in the whole story, and it didn't make them overpowered. Really, really fun. Okay, so I want to talk about some technical aspects of this movie. Like I said before, we saw it in IMAX because there's an aspect change in a couple of sequences. So there's a clip out on YouTube with Ryan Coogler explaining the different aspect ratios and the different options in which to watch these. In short, go watch it in IMAX. You'll basically be watching two aspect ratios. One, the Ultra Panavision, which is 276 and 1, and IMAX 65 millimeter, which is projected in 70 millimeter, which is the 143 to 1. You're seeing most of the movie in IMAX format, which looks like a very stretched out, wider, not stretched out, but like a wider screen. But when some of these moments switch into Ultra Panavision, basically the top and bottom start to open up a bit more, it does something so simple and visceral where it preps you for these upcoming intense, like something's happening, something's about to happen. It's going to get intense.
It's about to go down.
There you go. Another technical thing, once the movie is over, there is a mid-credit scene. I'm going to say that again. There is a mid-credit scene.
Do not get up.
Yeah, it's not exactly like an MCU, oh, here's an extra beat. Like, it is the end of the movie. It's a full-on scene. Some people were like, oh, movie's over. Okay, let's beat traffic. And left. And I was like, dude, you guys missed like a really good last couple beats of the movie. Anything else about the story and anything like that? Because I got some little fun fact about Coogler and WB.
No, tell me this fun fact.
Okay, Coogler is a fucking baller. Not only has he made some amazing movies, some of them I haven't seen, like Fruitvale Station, that is on the list. I think that might have been one of his first movies with Michael B. Jordan. But he's done fucking the Black Panther movies. Great movies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's Scorsese, so, superhero movies can be cinema. But he made a historic deal with WB. Couple things.
Tell me more.
One, in his agreement, although it doesn't say exactly what the percentage is, he gets a share of all the gross ticket sales. That means he gets his cut before WB gets their cut.
He knows.
Fucking baller, dog.
And that's how you do it.
He also has the rights to the final cut. He has a say-so for the final cut. That way you're not getting a fucking release the Snyder cut. No, it's like, this is a movie he wanted to make. This is a movie he wanted to put out. Which
goes back to when we were doing the award season, where what was the director of The Brutalist? He goes, director should get the final cut.
Yes, absolutely.
Full circle.
And then lastly, that he will have the rights to the film after 25 years. He basically cut out the need for fucking studios.
Yeah.
What a fucking baller move. I really hope that creators going forward are able to somehow make these similar deals and, you know, get these fucking, not penny pinchers, but these greedy bastards out of the art form. You know what I mean? Like the fact that Coogler has this passion to tell this story and construct it the way that he fucking wanted to without it being noted to death. And it comes through in the movie. It is an amazing movie.
Definitely. I think I've even said before, I mean, to you, I don't think I've said it on podcasts or whatever, but when movies are given too many notes, you're just like, well, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. It's
like,
too many
what?
hands in the too many cooks in the kitchen or whatever it is.
Yeah. And I'm just like, okay. But this one shows you what it looks, a movie can look like without that.
So we love the hell out of the movie, which means we move on to
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes. Oh, that's the news. I was like, why did it?
Did you play the Rotten Tomatoes one?
I did. This is the music for the segment that we call YHST Gets Fresh, which is, of course, a segment where me and Alva alternate going back and forth and guessing the Rotten Tomatoes score of the aforementioned movie, giving our personal rating and guessing what the audience scored and the critics scored from 0 to 100, 59 and below being rotten, 16 above being fresh. Okay,
what is your personal?
My personal rating is 95% because there is this beat. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a beat in the movie that felt like it was just sort of added on, but not necessarily sloppily, but I could feel that it was just like kind of tacked on.
Okay.
That's my only that is my only critique on the movie.
We will talk about that later.
Yeah, 95%. I think critics enjoyed it. I think critics liked it at also 95%, and I think audiences liked it at like 97%.
Okay. You only got the audience right. Critics did 98.
Right on. Fuck yeah.
And I will agree with critics on that score.
I just like my big round numbers. And there you go. YHST Gets Fresh. And before we close out the show, it's now Alva's turn to get quiz, dog.
No.
So we're going to just end it with some vampire trivia. So for those playing at home, keep track and see what she gets wrong as well as what you guys guessed wrong. Are you ready, Alva?
I guess.
All right, kicking it all off. Which of the following historical characters was the basis for some of today's vampire stories? Vlad the Impaler, Tamerlane, Kublai Khan, Ivan the Terrible.
I'm going to go with Vlad.
Yeah,
fuck yeah.
So great.
Nosferatu.
Published in 1887, which of the following authors penned the book Dracula? Shout out if you know it. Ray Bradbury, Bram Stoker, Mary Shelley, or Ian Fleming?
What was the year again?
1887.
Was it Mary? No. Was it? I'll go with Mary.
Oh my God, that was a fucking gimme.
I'm sorry.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, dog?
Yeah. It's because they're
thinking, what the fuck?
But they're doing, no, I think, shut the fuck up. It's because they're doing the two versions of it.
I'm not going to sit here and
whatever.
hear your fucking defense. What was the name of the vampire character that Brad Pitt played in the film Interview with a Vampire?
Never seen that movie, but give me the things.
Multiple choices?
Yeah.
Lestat, Louis, Vlad, or Danielle?
Danielle.
It had two L's.
What was the first one?
Lestat.
And the second one?
Louis.
And the third one?
Vlad. No.
No, I was saying, like, is that what you said? Because it sounded like you said
Anyways,
Vlad.
let's move it along. It was Louis or Louis. Tom Cruise played the role of Lestat.
Trying to fucking confirm if it was Glad or
I have not seen that movie, by the way. Which spice is reputed to repel vampires?
Give me the questions. The multiple
choice. Pepper, garlic, thyme, or salt?
I want to go with garlic.
Yeah, of course, garlic. What is... Oh, here's a fun one. What's a group of vampires called? A murder, a clutch, a herd, or a pod?
I want to say clutch. Yeah.
Because they come in clutch. They've also been referred to as a pack, coven, or a brood. On which well-known television series might you see Count Von Count?
The fuck?
The Addams Family, The Munsters, Sesame Street, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Sesame Street?
Yeah. All right, All right, last couple of ones. What animal can Chinese vampires transform into?
Oh, shit. I don't know.
A dragon, a bear, a tiger, or a wolf?
What?
A dragon, a bear, a tiger, or a wolf?
Oh, a tiger.
Wow. No, wolf. Only very strong vampires have this ability. All right, last two questions. Which actor played the moody vampire heartthrob Edward Cullen in the film adaptation of the Twilight Saga?
Wait, I got distracted. What was the question again?
Which actor played the moody vampire heartthrob Edward Cullen in the film adaptations of the Twilight Saga?
Robert Pattinson.
Ding, ding. Fucking ding. And lastly, in the television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer, who is Buffy's first vampire love interest?
Give me the choices.
I don't have any choices.
Fudge. I don't know. It's been a while.
Angel. And there you have it. There it is. Another successful edition of YHST quiz, trivia, whatever.
That is not a skin of a killer, Paula.
Oh, man. Yeah, what a freaking great movie. Highly advise that everyone go see it. I really wish that we had time because I wouldn't mind actually watching it again. It's going to live rent-free in my brain. But so far, I'm enjoying the soundtrack. I mean, reliving the movie by enjoying the soundtrack.
If we had time, I'd be like, you go see Sinners. I go see Pride and Prejudice.
Again.
You know,
it's a slow season right now.
Yeah, I'm about to be
totally
like, let's go do that.
But we have life to live. Okay, any other last words before we close it out?
No.
Anything else?
No.
Okay. Oh, that sounds so sad about it. Thank you guys once again for listening to us babble on about really fun fucking movies. Again, go watch Sinners. Go watch it in IMAX. Don't see it in any other format. Just listen to me. And thank you guys again for following us on social media at
YHST Pod.
On Instagram and TikTok, and for supporting us on Venmo at
YHST Pod.
We appreciate that. Comment, when you see the movie, let us know what you thought about it in the comments and in the DMs. Like, I really want to hear what stood out to you, what you liked about it, maybe what you didn't like about it. But in the meantime, let us know what movies are on your growing list of films and has people asking you the question. You haven't seen that? See you next week.
Okay, bye. Bitches.